Coming up tonight on YCN News, Vermont State Police charged 26-year-old Katie Schulenberger of Langdon, New Hampshire, with driving under the influence with 2 children in the car. A landmark red brick building at the corner of 2 busy streets in Newport is getting a new name, a new look, and a new owner. And the YCN News team finds out about a unique collaboration of the arts in Woodstock this week. For more news, weather, and sports, it's time for YCN, your local view.
Now, your daily digest of the Dartmouth Lake Sunapee region, southern Vermont, and Windsor County. News, sports, weather, and all that is happening in our area. The news on YCN, your local view.
Good evening, and welcome to this Monday edition of YCN News. I'm Rose Spillman. Vermont State Police are charging 26-year-old Katie Schulenberger of Langdon, New Hampshire, with driving under the influence with 2 children in the car. Police were called to Springfield, Vermont off I-91 Saturday night around 9:43 p.m. to investigate a report of a car that had gone off the highway into the median. Troopers found 3 people in the car: Schulenberger, a 4-year-old boy, and a 5-year-old girl. No one was wearing a seatbelt. All were entrapped in the car, police report. Schulenberger was partially ejected through the car's sunroof. The boy was partially ejected through the vehicle's rear window. The girl was in the back seat, pinned under the roof. It took first responders about 45 minutes to free the driver and passengers. All were taken to Dartmouth Hitchcock Medical Center in Lebanon. One child has a compound fracture to the foot. Schulenberger and another child sustained minor injuries. All are expected to recover. Police went to the hospital to interview the driver. Schulenberger was found to be intoxicated. She is charged by police with DUI, careless and negligent operation of a motor vehicle resulting in serious injury, child endangerment, and driving with a suspended license. She is scheduled to appear in Windsor County District Court on the charges at a later date, say police. In New Hampshire news, a landmark red brick building at the corner of 2 busy streets in Newport is getting a new name, a new look, and a new owner. The Arlington Sample Book Building is under development by the company that builds popular retail coffee shops in New England and beyond. The building at the 20 South Main Street will become a 2-story building with a 44-seat Dunkin' Donuts on the first floor and retail shops above. Newport Planning and Zoning Administrator Julie Magnuson says plans for the site are welcome news to the downtown area.
Mill has been falling down for many years, unkept, unused, and we've gone through many renovations on our main street since 1995. There's been a complete, you can see the beautiful downtown, the lighting, the curbing, the brick sidewalks, and it looks fantastic. We're very, very proud of it. So this renovation will only enhance what's already been done here. We're very excited about it, and it'll bring more business to town.
Plans call for the renovations to match the existing structure, meaning passers-by will see a brick exterior with modern updates. One of those updates includes an arch seal canopy over the front entrance, and the new building will be set back more from the street than it is now, which also will add to its appearance. The building is zoned for industrial use. From the 1890s throughout the 20th century, additions to the building created a larger working space but not a visually pleasing one. Plans to develop the building for mixed retail use have been ongoing for at least a year, Magnuson says. The town's planning board granted a variance and approved a special exception in April 2012. Since that date, steps to bring an idea into reality continue. A demolition permit was approved. About 2 weeks ago, the building permit was issued. And with the permits come money into the town, including about $760,000 for one part of the project. One aspect of the building's new future is from an urban exemption granted the town in 2009 by the State Department of Environmental Services. Earlier engineering studies had been done on the Arlington building with a goal of building a pharmacy at that site. Those plans didn't go through, but the studies allowed the town to apply for and receive the exemption from the Environmental Board. The Shoreland Protection Act requires all land within 250 feet of a public waterway to be kept from development or allow only limited development. The Arlington site is close to the Sugar River. Indeed, it falls within that zone. Earlier engineering studies in hand, the town was granted the exemption especially as it has long been an urban property. One member of the Claremont Charter Commission says he will do all that is legally possible to defeat a proposal to change how the city of Claremont is governed. Commission member and state rep Ray Gagnon joins fellow members Nick Koloski and Commission Chairman George Cacavero in voting Friday night against changing from an appointed city manager to an elected mayor form of local government. With that 6-3 vote, a petition signed in April by 350 registered Claremont voters to keep the city manager form of government will not be considered by the 9-member Charter Commission. Voters in November will be asked to approve or not changing how the city rules itself. The choice would be to change from an elected city council with an appointed city manager to an elected mayor with an elected board of aldermen. Gagnon, at previous commission meetings, said this change could lead to stacking the deck in favor of politicians' aims and not the public's best interests. The commission must finish its updating of the city charter soon in order to meet a summer deadline. The next step is for the charter draft to go to the city clerk and later to the New Hampshire Secretary of State's office for review. Welcome back to YCN News. I'm Rose Spillman. The summer is underway and with it, myriad arts programs. Our YCN News team got to find out about a very unique collaboration of the arts in Woodstock happening this week.
My wife and I started Interplay Jazz and Arts 19 years ago. This is our 19th anniversary in a little town called Wilton, New Hampshire at the High Mowing School, and we were there for 5 years. Then we moved to Beverly, Mass, Endicott College. And after 5 years there, we moved back to Woodstock, Vermont. The mission of Interplay, it's a holistic, intergenerational jazz experience. And by that I mean we have students of all ages, the youngest being 12, 13, 14, and we have people in their 80s who are students. Also an 85-year-old faculty member who's a National Endowment for the Arts Jazz Master, Sheila Jordan. Well, we start the day with yoga, an hour of yoga with a great yoga instructor who also happens to be a great tenor saxophone player. Then we move into the day with a morning meeting where we all meet together and share tidbits of information. There's usually a short faculty performance and inspirational ideas from several of the faculty members. Then we move into master classes where you're studying with a master on your instrument, piano, saxophone, flute, voice, trombone, and so forth. And then we move into groups that are put together, combos, so a piano, bass, drums, guitar, and several horns, and they rehearse together and then perform later in the week. The performance schedule is a pretty heavy schedule. Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday there are free concerts at the Unitarian Universalist Church in Woodstock, Vermont from 7 to 8:30 p.m. Each night we'll have 2 different groups, and these are world-class faculty members. Thursday, we're doing a concert on the Green in Woodstock at noon, from noon until 2. Thursday evening, we have a performance that's a swing dance at the Little Theater in Woodstock, right on Route 4, from 7 to 10. Friday night is the final faculty concert, starting at 8 o'clock, also at the Unitarian Church in Woodstock. And Saturday is another student performance, the final student performance, from noon until 3 at the Vale Field Pavilion right across the street from the elementary school in Woodstock. And one of the things that's important about Interplay and what makes it different is it's truly holistic. We do yoga and meditation every day. We use ancient techniques to teach our students how to relax and become more creative. And we use locally grown and sourced food whenever we can, so we feed the students well and the faculty. We have all of our meals together, and as I mentioned, it's completely intergenerational with all different age groups represented within the faculty and the student body.
Wow, not only do they get fed well, but they will feed you musically all week long with their wonderful performances. Fred wanted us to note that they are a 501c3 nonprofit and will take donations to help defray the cost, including scholarships. This weekend, New London residents had a brush with fame as trainer to the stars, Steve Jordan, was featured at a Pay It Forward event at Colby Sawyer College. The event, for 176 people, was organized by a local New London businessman who struck up a friendship with Jordan and wanted to share his new approach to exercise, healthy eating, and living. YCN's Laura James caught up with the acclaimed trainer and businessman Joe Burns.
The location is Colby Sawyer College in New London, New Hampshire. 200 people strong, all here to not just see, but work out with Steve Jordan. He's a trainer to the stars, and what a crowd it was. I had a chance to speak with Joe Burns, who brought him here, and also Steve Jordan. Let's see a little bit more about the event.
This event was inspired as a Pay It Forward event. I had a chance meeting with celebrity trainer Steve Jordan back in January of this year. We went to the same business conference in West Palm Beach, and after seeing Steve 4 times without saying hello, I finally introduced myself, and he told me what he did for a living and invited me to the gym. And we did a couple workouts, and at the time I was 270 pounds, and I remember asking Steve, I said, Steve, what's this about? And he said, well, Joe, it's 45 days. And I said, what are my days off, Steve? And he said, Joe, you don't get any days off. So I went back here, came back to New London, I worked out for 45 days, and then Steve produced the second phase for me. At the end of the first phase, I lost 18 pounds. So after the second phase, I started working. I said, Steve, I'd like to pay you for this. And he said, no, we're friends. I'm not going to accept payment from you, Joe. And I said, well, how about if I pay it forward and put on a community event where you could come out and inspire my community like you have me? And that's the crux of the event.
This has been an extraordinary opportunity for both of us to expand on, on ourselves. Joe obviously losing weight and feeling the best that he can, and for me at that event, my intention was to become more of a public speaker. And so the public speaking was an opportunity for me to reach more people, be a global impact rather than just a local impact in Los Angeles with the stars that I trained there. And I want to use the experiences that I've had to be able to inspire and motivate and educate, anybody that wants to listen and hear what I have to say.
Okay, I know out in LA you don't do this, but we have to name drop here in New London, New Hampshire. Who are some of the stars that you've worked with, if you can tell us?
Oh, of course. I've actually worked with a lot. Quincy Jones, Lisa Kudrow, let's see who else. Ann Curry, Dustin Hoffman. So the list goes on. Sometimes I forget, but I find them. They're normal people. They're people that have an extraordinary talent to act. As many of us all have an extraordinary talent. They just happen to find theirs, and theirs is on TV. So they're awesome people, and it's a great experience to always work with them. I always learn something when I'm with them.
Well, I'm here because I work at Country Houses with Joe Burns, and Joe is very excited to be bringing us Steve Jordan, celebrity trainer to the stars, and it's just a free event here at Colby Sawyer, and we're all going to get pumped up like Joe's been and inspired like Joe, we hope.
Welcome back to YCN News. I'm Rose Spillman. Now Matt McDonald will have a look at our weather for the next few days and then move on to sports.
Thanks, Rose. Tonight we're expecting patchy fog after 11 p.m. with increasing clouds and winds around 5 miles per hour. Lows will be around 56 degrees. Tomorrow morning will be foggy around 10 a.m. Then skies will be cloudy and highs will be in the 80s with winds up to 15 miles per hour. Tuesday night we'll have a 60% chance of showers and thunderstorms before 8 p.m., then continuing until midnight and possibly after. Skies will be cloudy with lows around 63 degrees and winds around 10 miles per hour. Wednesday we'll have a 60% chance of rain with thunderstorms possible after 11 a.m. Highs will be around 76 degrees with cloudy skies. Wednesday night will be cloudy with lows in the 60s and a 50% chance of rain and thunderstorms. Let's take a look at our northeastern and national radar maps. We can see the clouds rolling in, potentially bringing in fog tonight into Tuesday. There are cloud surges in the west. Expect possible showers throughout the week. Now let's see what's coming up on our community calendar. Tomorrow night in Vermont, the Hartford Select Board will meet at 6 p.m. and the Windsor Select Board will meet at 7. In New Hampshire, the Meriden Library will host Rocket Sing-Along at 6:30 p.m. Tuesday night. Remember, you can submit local events from your community by sending them to news@ycnnow.com. And now let's take a look at an exciting lacrosse tournament held this weekend. On Saturday, the Hanover Lions Burns Cup Twin State All-Star Lacrosse Games are held at Hanover High School. In the girls' game, New Hampshire came away with a 25-9 victory over the Vermont All-Stars. The Dartmouth Lake Sunapee region was well represented by many players, including Libby Brooks and Katie Schooch from Kearsarge, Evie Keating, Liesl Robbins, and Hannah Siebel from Hanover, and from Vermont, Sadie Gay and Alexis Lovell from Hartford High School. Hanover's Hannah Siebel had an outstanding game, scoring 4 goals for the victorious Granite Staters. Tomorrow, we'll look at the boys lacrosse game from Saturday.